Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Later in the show, we're going to have Becky Baines. She's an author. She's got a book called Famous Fails. So I'm excited to chat about that. We got Christmas coming right up. That's pretty cool.
We do.
And listen to this. Humans have the ability to recognize attractive faces at the age of 2 months. So 2 months old, they can tell who's cute and who's not. But doesn't somebody have to decide who's cute and who's not to be able to know if they're right? I don't know if I would want to be that guy. According to the Education Department, more than half of American high school seniors don't have an even basic grasp on U.S. history.
I would agree with that. Have you ever spoken to a high school senior?
Yeah. I have. And for those of you who are in the half that know stuff, kudos to you. Hey, the alarm clock was not invented by the person most people think invented it. Marquis de Sade is who most people think. But no, it was Levi Hutchins, 1787. See,
That's totally who I thought invented
This
it.
is the whole U.S. history thing we're talking about.
Did you know
of course.
that everybody else thought Marquis de Sade
I was so
a...
disappointed when I found out this.
I've never heard
Concord,
of
New
either of
Hampshire
those
is
names.
where it was invented in 1787, but Levi was an early riser. His alarm clock would only go off at 4 a.m. This one's broken. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Friday. It is December the 23rd. Today is Human Light Celebration Day. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Human Light Celebration Day.
Human Light?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Well, it's also Roots Day. So if you don't want to celebrate one, maybe you celebrate the other, or maybe you celebrate both on this 23rd day of December. You'd think there'd be some sort of Christmassy thing today, too, but nothing. Nothing on the list. I know it's probably like the day that most men start shopping. So, oh, that's tomorrow? Okay, yeah, that's right. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Do you like long movies, Heidi?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the movie. Some movies can drone on and on and on, and they could have cut about an
How about
hour
this
out
one?
of it.
2,000 hours.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
When a book is made into a movie, usually it's done by a screenwriter who takes the essence of the plot and some of the dialogue and produces a script. Well, a Nashville film company has decided to take a different approach, and they're making a movie using a book's text word for word. And it's not just any book, it's the Bible.
Oh.
The filming for the project.
That makes sense that it's that many hours then.
2,000-hour film is what they're thinking it's going to be. The filming has already begun. And the makers believe modern-day audiences will actually want the entire Bible word for word on video. The project has already produced the Gospels and the Acts of Apostles on video. It says here, as new chapters are produced, they will be made available at Christian bookstores and online and through direct mail advertising. So you'll be able to get this, as they're done, chapter by chapter by chapter. So I think it'd probably be like one whole book, wouldn't it?
That's not something I would buy.
Yeah. The whole Bible on DVD?
No. No.
There are things that I would like to see, because I've read the Bible, and there are some interesting things in there that I'd be like, I'd like to see how they would act that out, how they would portray that. The Tower of Babel, that would be interesting to see. And I'm sure that there's probably movies that have had that, but some of the other, just think about some of the cool stories that you'd be able to watch. You clearly...
I wouldn't want to watch it. No, I mean, I have a hard enough time reading it. I can't imagine saying I'm going to sit through 2,000 hours.
Well, what is that, a week? 2 weeks? I don't know. What does that work out to? We'd probably binge watch it, over the course of time.
I would totally binge watch it.
I don't know. It might take a while. All right, maybe we won't do that. But it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. 35-year-old Brian Poulin of Hebron, Connecticut called 911. In fact, he called several times. Seems that the big emergency was that he was out of beer and he wanted the cops to pick some up on their way by. Police finally did show up. Where's the beer? No, they didn't have any. They picked him up instead. Oh, you're taking me to get a beer? No. You were charged with disorderly conduct. What an idiot. Why would you do
It's not like
that?
I was asking you to go out of your way. I said
No.
when you're going by.
If I could see it, like if his brother worked there or something, and he was, but you still wouldn't want to
No,
call
you wouldn't.
911 for
No.
that. But I'm just thinking, what the heck was this guy thinking?
Text your brother and say, hey, when
Hey.
you get off work, why
Yeah,
don't
why
you
don't
come
you-
on over to my house and we'll drink and we'll watch some drunk history. That's the proper
That
way to
is
do
such a
it.
funny. For those of you who have not seen that, it's on Comedy Central. It is ridiculously funny. So we'll maybe chat about that later. Coming up, we've got some more stuff like your moment of duh and your scoop of the day. It is all on the way.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Authorities still don't know the motive behind the motel room grease job, but Robert Chamberlain has pled guilty to smearing Vaseline all over a Motel 6 in New York. Police say he used 14 jars
Oh my gosh.
of Vaseline, to coat every inch of the room and everything in it, too. Managers say it took almost a month to clean or replace everything that
Oh,
was
I'm
damaged.
sure. I can't
Chamberlain
even imagine.
Has not offered any explanation as to why he did it. He was ordered to pay about $3,900 for the damage, was sentenced to 3 years probation.
Jeepers.
That's a pretty
That's
big
an
deal.
expensive practical joke.
$3,900, man. You gotta smile because nobody's done that before. I mean, I read a story one time where somebody painted a whole hotel room black. I don't remember who that was, but so this dude just decided Vaseline. I mean, let's smear the room down. I'm glad that it didn't happen at my place.
I can't even imagine
Be
what
a
a
big
mess.
Anyway, that was
Who
your moment
checks
of
into
duh.
a hotel with 13
14.
jars
14.
of Vaseline?
He had a plan. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. For those of you who've been watching Saturday Night Live this season, you might have noticed somebody that's been popping up on just about every episode, Alec Baldwin. He's usually in a scene, maybe two, doing an impression of Donald Trump. How much do you suppose he's getting paid for that?
I really don't care.
If you're going to guess,
I
just
don't
shoot out a number.
I think Alec
episode.
would pretty much work for a 6-pack and a package of beef jerky at this point, wouldn't he?
Well, it's getting pretty close to what he's getting paid.
Is it?
$1,400 per appearance. Which,
That's quite a bit.
that's really for a national television
You
appearance?
wouldn't work for $1,400 per appearance?
Me? Of course I would.
That's a lot of money.
I'm saying if they asked me, I'd do $14. I'm like, hey, I get to be on Saturday Night Live. Wanted to do that when I was a kid. Not so much anymore. Hey,
I wouldn't even like any of the people in that building. I don't think.
Yeah, I
so.
don't. Well, and the thing is, it's just gotten so weird. They can't end a skit.
No, they're not funny.
It's like they have this really good idea for a skit, and
I
then
think
they don't
in
know how
a
to end
whole
it.
show, I'll maybe kind of giggle once, and then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, this was a complete waste of my time.
There are people out there right now saying, yeah, pot, meat, kettle. That's you guys. Hey, a man hands over a grenade he used to bang walnuts. This happened in China. Police were shocked when a man turned in an old hand grenade. He's been using it for years to crack nuts open. The man said he acquired this antique weapon
my
from a friend in
gosh.
1991. He said he held onto the grenade because its wooden handle and cast iron made it easy for cracking open walnuts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's lucky he didn't blow himself nuts. I mean, that is crazy. What the heck is going on there? KFC, we know them here as Kentucky Fried Chicken. Around the world, they just go by KFC. And that's kind of what they're doing here now, too. But KFC is now rolling out home deliveries in New Zealand. They're going to be testing that in February. We just read that McDonald's is going to be
was gonna
testing
start that.
delivery. We are getting so lazy. We won't even go get fast food anymore. Like we
But
bring
that's
it to
New
me.
Zealand.
I
And
know.
they say Americans are lazy.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, you guys, you want to feed me? Got a service where you'll hold the burger? Kind of busy playing my game. Speaking of games, Pokemon Go players have walked enough miles to pass Pluto.
That's
The makers of the
super.
smartphone app have tracked the millions of miles that their users have collectively used. 5.5 billion miles in 6 months. That's a lot. You know what? That's good. Think of the fitness that we got there. We just got done talking about how we're too darn lazy, so that's good news, wouldn't you say?
Sure.
The FDA has banned a certain kind of surgical glove. Guess which kind?
I don't know.
The powdered kind.
Okay.
Not the glazed glove, not the sprinkle glove, just the powdered glove. They don't do sprinkle gloves. Super Mario Run breaks records. So this was released 1 week ago, and it's already setting records. Its first 4 days alone, Mario had over 40 million downloads. That breaks records for Apple's mobile software. So we were just talking about how good things were for old Pokemon. Well, Super Mario is going to run past him and smack him with a lead pipe. He's a plumber.
Alrighty then.
So you know. Okay. Instagram, top stars and stories of 2016. Several year-end lists out there, and Selena Gomez, not only the most followed star on all of Instagram with 105 million fans, she also gained the most followers in 2016. She gained 50 million fans and counting. Taylor Swift is the second most popular star on Instagram, 94.9 million fans, followed by Ariana Grande, 91 million, Beyonce, 90 million, and Kim Kardashian, 89 million. So there you go.
There you go.
Do you follow any of those folks on Instagram?
I don't follow anybody on Instagram.
Nor do
because
I.
I am not on Instagram.
Well, maybe we should change all that. Maybe we should get on
I don't want to be on Instagram.
You don't?
No.
Why, because we're too old for that?
First of all, I don't have time to be on anything
I
like
don't
that.
really either. Hey, apparently many Americans are experiencing difficulty deciding between Applebee's or IHOP. Well, good news. Detroit's going to be the first place ever to have an Apple Hop. Or is it an IB's? I don't know what it is. It's going to be an Apple Hop. No, it's an I goofed up my own joke. It's an IHOP and an Applebee's combined. It'll be a 300-seat restaurant with 100 people working there.
I have Applebee's. I have an IHOP.
Boom.
Oh. Apple Hop.
I don't know what it is. It's just, that'll be their first ad right there. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I've got a guest on the program today that I'm excited to visit with because I've got a copy of her book here, and it is such a cool book. I've got Becky Baines. She is the editor of Famous Fails, and this is from the National Geographic Kids collection. Becky, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and this is such a fun book. First of all, it's a great idea for a book because so many times, you know, we learn about all the things that went right in history, but it's good for kids to know that, you know what, sometimes these people made like little boo-boos and mistakes, but they're still famous because they still succeeded in the end. So it's good to know that it's okay to fail, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, we thought it was a really important message for kids, especially with as much, you know, pressure is on them these days to succeed and be the best. So we really think that failure is part of growing, and, you know, most successful people have faced sometimes a lot of failure on their road to success, and we just thought that message was really important for kids. And then, of course, we just have some funny stuff in here, like world records that went awry and inventions that were never supposed to be. So it's just kind of a good, well-rounded book.
Well, and like I said, just the overall topic I thought was good, but then as I flipped through this is so well put together. I mean, it's almost like reading a textbook. You know, I remember when I was a kid how textbooks were, and the layout of this is very textbook-like, so it makes it easy to learn, doesn't it?
Yeah, we like to think it's a little bit more, visually appealing than a textbook. It is kind of like laid out in these little chunks that are easy for kids to kind of dive in and out and wrap their brains around little bits of information at one time. We, do try to use as much photography as possible because kids are such visual learners, and then we, bring these kind of funny elements onto the pages, like, what you can learn from each little story and, your triumphant takeaway, which is like a little kind of one-line lesson about, things that you can apply to your own life. So I think that it came out pretty nicely.
It did. And when I was saying that, I meant that as a compliment. I meant a really good textbook. So I want to make sure that comes through. Because when you read it, what I meant is it's not just a bunch of boring text and little pictures smacked in here and there. It's a great-looking book. Now, as you were putting this together, is there like a story that you would say is your famous takeaway story that if everybody learns just one thing, they got to learn about this particular thing?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I'm going to have a hard time choosing one, but I think one of my favorites is about Michael Jordan because he was one of the most famous basketball players of all time. Just a super successful championship-winning guy, and in the early 1990s, he kind of shocked the whole world by deciding to step away from basketball and trying his hand at baseball. He had a lot of reasons for doing this. One of them was that his father had recently passed away, and it was his father's kind of dream for Michael Jordan to be a baseball player, and so he kind of decided to make his dad's dream come true. The problem is he was a great basketball player, wasn't as great of a baseball player. He wasn't bad. He actually ended up making a minor league team, but he was just met with so much, critical, let's say people in the press talking very badly about him in this decision, and it just kind of didn't work out so well. And that could have been a really kind of sad ending to his story, but he actually returned to basketball in 1995 and went on to win 3 more championships in a row before he retired in 1999. And I just love that story because it's, you should never shy away from trying something new. A lot of people gave Michael Jordan a lot of flack for this, but it didn't set him back, and it just made his story more interesting. And you never lose by trying your hand at something that's really a passion for you. So I liked that one a lot.
I like that too, because it also shows that even though he was arguably the best in the world at one sport, doesn't necessarily mean he has to be good at everything. But I'm also proud of the guy for trying. And when the media was making fun of him, I'm sure he was wiping away his tears with stacks of $100 bills. So
yeah, that always helps.
Yeah, so if you're going to fail like Michael Jordan. That's a good way to fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, our guest right now, Becky Baines, she is the editor of a book called Famous Fails. It's from National Geographic Kids, and I like the subtitle, Mighty Mistakes, Mega Mishaps, and How a Mess Can Lead to Success. This is a great book. Where can people find a copy of this, Becky?
Well, you can check out our website, which is kids.nationalgeographic.com, which has information about this book and, the hundreds of other books we publish. Or you can go, to your favorite store. It's available wherever books are sold.
Very, very nice. Well, thank you for doing this. This is a cool idea for a book. And do you have others that are in the works right now, things that you're kind of brewing right now, getting ready to roll?
Oh, yeah. I have a ton of fun books coming out. We actually just came out with the Book of Heroes and the Book of Heroines, which is a really, really good one that people should be on the lookout for. And right now I'm working on a big What Would Happen book, which is kind of a hypothetical situation based in real, science and history. So that's going to be a really fun one, too. That's
awesome. Now, I see one of the chapters that are in here is the one where it says pick the wrong president. And this is not talking about our current election that just happened, but going back to Dewey defeats Truman, where everybody went to bed that night thinking that Dewey was the winner, and then in the morning they found out that Truman was the winner. So if you did a new version of this book, you could put a whole new election in there for that chapter, couldn't you?
Oh, yes, we could. It's creepy how history repeats itself sometimes. But yeah, we definitely felt that one fairly recently.
Well, and that's the thing, when you look at, sometimes the media can be wrong too. So sometimes when you hear these people, the experts, every expert was lined up saying one thing, and at the end of the day, it turned out a completely different way. So again, a good lesson for kids to learn that sometimes even the experts are wrong.
Yes, definitely.
And I like, there's a little quote on the cover. There's a little quote that says, Einstein would never amount to much. And was that a teacher that had said that about him?
Yes, that was a teacher that said that about him. Einstein was a little bit of a late bloomer, but he was always really good at math, not so great at other subjects. And teachers definitely were not fans of Einstein when he was in school.
Well, keep that in mind. If you've got kids that maybe struggle in a subject, just remember that, Einstein's teacher said he wouldn't amount to much, and it turned out okay for him as well.
Yeah, I think a Nobel Peace Prize would quiet them down.
That's right. Well, again, the book is called Famous Fails, Mighty Mistakes, Mega Mishaps, and How a Mess Can Lead to Success. Our guest today, Becky Baines. She's the editor. Becky, thank you again for chatting with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And again, the book is called Famous Fails. It is available right now. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Over 40% of men tailgate to get the person in front of them to speed up.
That would be you.
Yeah, 44% of us do that. Over 40%. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
25% of people drive after they've been drinking. That's
not good.
That's not a fun fact. That's a scary fact. And this time of year, holiday parties and stuff going on, Christmas parties, New Year's parties, all the different things. If you're going to be drinking, don't be a driving. So get a designated driver. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first and longest American sporting event is yachting. Yeah, the Yale-Harvard crew races, one of the oldest. Fun fact for you,
I've
Heidi.
never been on a yacht.
You haven't?
No.
It's kind of like being on a boat, only bigger.
I want to be on a yacht. You've never been on a yacht.
Oh, I've been on so many yachts. No, never mind. I've never been on a yacht.
I want to. That's on my bucket list now.
Is it really?
I want to be on a yacht.
I don't really care.
For an extended
I don't
period
wanna
of
do that.
time.
Well, we'll do that. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There are 225 squares on a Scrabble board.
Oh.
That's a lot of squares. All right. Couple of fun facts for you right there. I have more, but we ran out of time because we were too busy talking about yachts. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to radiolottopool.com and join today. Again, that website is radiolottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Take a listen to this. Here's the headline. Twin sisters were just hired to teach the same class at an England university. So this could be kind of interesting. Twin sisters are sharing the same job because their new bosses couldn't choose which one of them they should employ. So they decided, both of you. It's kind of cool. University of Northumbria, I don't know what that is. That's kind of a funny name. Couldn't choose between Sarah Parrington or Liz Parrington. So guess what? You both get the job. The twins decided they should share lecturing jobs after they applied. They both applied and they both got the opportunity. Their 9 GCSE results and their 4 A levels are identical. They got a 2.1 degree in psychology. Their master's degree in sporting psychology. In other words, these two are twins in every sense of the word.
Why would they have gone for the exact same degree?
Well, I don't know. Because I suppose they both have the same interest. It'd be kind of cool if they were teaching in classrooms next to each other.
I know some sets of twins, and they don't all have the
Not
same
everybody.
interest.
It doesn't say everybody does, but these two do.
Like I don't think I know any twins that have the exact same interests, and they want to. That's just weird.
For the twins listening, her name is Heidi. I'll spell it later. For the hate mail. We applied for the same job, they say, hoping one of us might have a chance. We never expected we'd both get hired. We've always been interested in the same thing. We thought once we started looking for lecturing jobs, it would all come to an end. Now, the twins live together in Newcastle, and they teach sports science. Their boss, Professor John Lyle, said they were the best people for the job, and we decided to offer the job to both of them.
Okay, so now they each have a part-time job, and they're not making enough to pay their student loans.
Don't know. Maybe they both got full-time jobs.
There was one job.
Well, maybe they gave them...
Whatever.
I never really thought this through, did I? I still think it's kind of cool.
I wonder how that works for Siamese twins. That would really suck, because one of you would have to win that argument on what you're going to do for a living.
Can we move forward?
And then the other person would have to. And then do they pay both of you?
I don't know. So what do you do? Well, I'm the CEO of this company, and what do you? I'm a garbage man. How do you guys do both of those? Just
What?
we work part days. I don't know. I have no clue.
That's a valid question.
I don't know how it goes, and there's probably somebody listening right now that's really mad because we even brought it up. So I apologize.
Why would you? That's a valid question.
It is, and we're going to just leave it right there. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
Good news, man. Next time your wife tries to get you to do housework, you can tell her, I can't. It's not healthy for me. Yeah.
Right.
It's official. Housework is bad for you. Granted, we got this information from a tabloid called the National Examiner, but hey, it was printed, so you know it's true.
Uh-huh.
They
You know what's
say-
even less healthy for you?
What's that?
Telling your wife you're not going to help with the housework.
Well, the report talks about somebody named Dr. Debbie Lawler. She's probably not even a real doctor. She probably doesn't even really exist. But they surveyed 2,300 women ages 60 to 79. They found those who regularly take a 2-hour stroll are less likely to become overweight and suffer physical ailments than those who are stuck inside with a vacuum and broom. So this is for ladies then. It's not just for guys. So ladies, you can say, hey, the stack of dishes is there because I want to stay healthy. You want to do something about it? Go for it. There you go. Ladies, you're welcome.
John and Heidi.
Imagine being a janitor and getting a paid, all expenses paid trip to Paris because of your job. That's what happened recently. 2 cleaners from a natural history museum in Sweden are being sent on an all expenses paid trip to Gay Paris in order to study. What are they going to study, you might ask? Well, they're cleaners, so they're going to be studying cleaning. The women are expected to visit several museums and see how the French cleaners do their cleaning.
All right.
So in Sweden, they're saying, hey, there's nobody here that knows how to dust. You're going to have to go to France for that. I don't understand.
That's ridiculous.
Well, it is, but I bet they got a grant for it or something. I don't know. It
And the
just
last thing you'd
happened.
want to do when you're sent on an all expense paid vacation is go and do your job that you left to go on the vacation.
So this is how we do this part. And like, yeah, we know how to dust. we just pretended like we didn't so we could come to France. Come on. All right, got a couple of fun things to share here in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, we celebrate with family and friends.
And sometimes that involves drinking.
If you're going to be celebrating, please have a designated driver.
I lost my cousins to a drunk driver. They were only 8 and 12 years old.
Their lives were cut short because the driver was drunk and made a terrible choice.
Make good choices. Have a designated driver.
If you or a loved one has a problem with drugs or alcohol, now may be a great time for the gift of sobriety.
You can call Keystone Treatment Center at 844-204-1055.
That's toll-free, 844-204-1055.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. I cannot believe that we got Christmas Eve tomorrow already, and Christmas is on Sunday. How did that happen, man?
It's crazy.
I'm really going to have to start doing some Christmas shopping soon. Okay, in all seriousness, my wife over here has a list that's like 8 pages long, and she makes sure she gets everybody, even if only met her once at like a gas station. Don't be surprised if she has a gift for you because she's awesome. I mean, you're awesome at this stuff. You're an awesome gifter. And then there's me. I have one person that I need to get stuff for. That's you, my wife. But this year you made it easy. You sent me a link. You're like, this is what I want. Just get it. Be good. So thank you for doing that. I want to bring something up, though. Smartphones. They've brought a whole new language with them. All of these acronyms. So when people say, LOL and all those different things that they say, there's some of us that know what that stuff means. I'm not one of those. But for those of you who want to know, did you know that there's actually an acronym IQ test you can take? You can decipher a list of abbreviations being used on cell phones all across the USA. If you want to do this, this would be maybe a fun thing to do if you're hanging out with the kids, because now, you're trying to connect with the young generation, those youngsters. You could play this game together. And good news, I have a link to it on our Facebook page. So you go over to the World Wide Web there and jump onto that whole Facebook spot. And
I
click
don't
on
have
our
time
page.
for that.
You've got time to go on Facebook.
I don't have time to go and play that thing on Facebook. I don't.
Well, it's at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show, and I posted it there early squirrely this morning, so you can go over and find it, and you can click on that and learn about all these little acronyms and what they mean. And you can impress the youngsters in your family at Christmas time. You're welcome. Coming up, we have some good news that's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. We always have good news at the end of the program.
Yeah.
This is a story that Heidi shared.
It is.
She did it the wrong way, of course, because she's a rule breaker.
I did not.
You're a rule breaker.
I didn't do it the wrong way.
You did too.
I didn't tag you in it.
No, but what do I say every day? When I say, hey, if you've got a good story you'd like to share, go to our Facebook page and share it with me. Send me a message through that page. You sent me a message to my page.
Only because I know you and I can send you messages to your page.
I'm blocking you.
Our listeners would do it as well if they had access to your page personally.
If you want to send it to me there, you can. But if you want to send it to my page, it'll be waiting for me conveniently so I can repost it on our page. That was the whole plan. See? Foiled again, Heidi. Here's the good news, though. It's a heartwarming story from the heart of Texas, where a high school student who has ginormous feet, size 13, has been wearing shoes that are size 10.
That's really sad.
That's too much foot for a small shoe. When word of his giant feet squeezing into the small shoes hit the classrooms, his classmates surprised him with some early Christmas presents. Guess what they were?
Shoes.
It's like you sent me this story.
Yeah, this actually made me cry.
And there's a neat video, and there's all kinds of images that you can see. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I think it's really cool. I saw this like a week ago, so before you sent it to me, I'd already seen it. Like right when it happened, I saw it. And it was going to be my good news. I have it saved.
It's really great to see young people that have a heart that can, because you could tell that this kid wasn't wealthy and he probably wasn't a part of the super popular crowd, and these kids went out of their way, all of these kids
National
together
news because of it too. How cool is that?
It's amazing.
And
I just think it's such a beautiful story,
and I'm really glad,
and I'm super proud of those kids.
I am too, and I'm really glad that it's being shared and it's getting out there. So with all of our good news, that's one of the reasons I always post it on Facebook, because it's such a shareable thing. Mm-hmm. Think about how many people you encounter in a day that are just having an awful day. And sometimes they don't say I'm having an awful day, but if you see people who are kind of down in the dumps, do your very best to give them something positive. That's why I always, always, always put positive news on our Facebook page, and I encourage you to share that with your friends too. You don't need to tag us in it. You can copy. Just go to the link and share it. If you don't want to let them know that you listen to the John and Heidi Show, I understand. But if you want to just share the link, that's really easy too. So
yeah.
Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.